Hello, everybody. This is Morten from Inkish. I have today the honor and pleasure of talking to a person that I don't think I have met before, Daniel from DP. What's it called? The company's DP
DP
Lenticular, right?
Lenticular, yes.
Yeah. So welcome on Inkish, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation, Morten. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. And one of the things that I realized when I checked your website was that lenticular is actually one of the things I still find so fascinating. And I guess that does it still fascinate you when it's like everyday's life?
Yes, it is, definitely, because we are always interested to see what our customers are doing with the lenticular sheets we are selling. Sometimes we don't see it, but sometimes we see, and we are very proud and happy to see what they can make, what they can create, particularly with the large format that we are selling mainly to artists today,
Hmm.
which allows creating very, very interesting pictures.
And just for people that don't understand what lenticular is, that is basically it's a material that has a lot of different, let's say, angles on it, so it reflects some kind of a lens, right?
Yeah, in fact, the lenticular sheets and roll that we are selling are extruded, and on one side is smooth, and this is the back side that the printer will print on, and the front side has the lenticles, and so the lenticles will allow to increase the dot that is printed on the backside, so like a loop if you want. And also depending of the angle, it will allow you to see one or another of the different frames that were printed on the backside. So there's always many frames. Sometimes people think there's only two when they see a flip image, and in fact there might be 20 or 30. It depends of the resolution of the printing device, and also it depends of the lenticular lens. So the wider the lenticular lens, the more space you have to print different images.
Mm. And basically, before you print on this one, because one thing is that you can buy different lenses and different types of, let's say, I don't know if you say qualities, but at least I can see on your website that you have a lot of different types of
Yes,
material. But before you print on this, of course, the printer needs some software that can define how the print should actually be divided into these sections that actually creates the lenticular,
absolutely,
right? Mm.
absolutely.
And the way I have seen it, and maybe I'm not skilled as you are, but I've seen it that you can either have a 3D effect or you can have a flip effect. Is that correct, or can you have also different types of other types of effects?
Yes, yes. Sometimes you can also have both together.
Really? So both flip
Yes,
and 3D.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
I
yes.
can tell
So,
you the first time I saw a large format of a lenticular was when I was visiting a printing company in China more than 20 years ago.
uh,
And I was walking in a big hallway, and at the end of that hallway there was a big Minnie Mouse from Disney in the 3D, and I was so astonished by it that I, of course, like everybody else, I had to go and touch it, right? And I guess that is the same kind of thing when you talk to people for the very first time when they see it. It's like this is something that you need to touch, right?
yes, yes. So you can create both 3D and motion or flip effect, and in fact, it's the same interlaced image. So the way it works, you have many different frames, and the frames will be what we say interlaced. So it means that behind each of the little lenticles of the material, you will have information from each of the many different frames that are interlaced. And this is done in the computer, of course. Today it's done in the computer. And so how it works? Well, the you need software, of course, and the software will depend of you're using Mac or PC. So I don't have preferences. I don't want to enter into religious questions. But the good thing to know is that you can find software for Mac and find software for PC. There's even one that is working on Mac, on PC, and Linux, which
Okay.
is so it's open to everybody. So that's not a big deal. The most important is, in my eyes, is not the software. The most important for me is to understand the process and the creativity of the people working. It's always the people who are creating an image. In my computer, I have Microsoft Word, but I'm not a writer, but I have the software. So you understand what I mean.
I
So
totally
you can
understand. Yeah.
have a beautiful photo camera, but you're not a photographer because you have a camera. You're a photographer because you want to make an image and you create an image. That's the difference. But of course, a software is important to achieve a good result. Yes, and but in fact, a, a 3D picture is a succession of photographies or made in the computer pictures from different viewing angle of the same thing, and then the interlaced result will be interlaced like a flip image because it's like it's different pictures. It's just the same. But you can now in the computer you can create effect where you have both together, changing pictures and depth. That's not a big problem anymore,
Mm.
and
We,
that gives very good effects. Yes.
from your side, what is, I mean, if let's say that a company that operates in large format or digital print or offset print or whatever technology, what is the biggest thing that you have to have in mind when you start with lenticular? Because I mean, I know it's a normal printing process when the image has been done, but I was just wondering, is it difficult to manage? Because I guess that you need very good registration, right?
Yes, of course, of course. The lenticular is. I used to say it's not so difficult, but it's very precise. So, in fact, one pixel can make a difference in lenticular. Of course, if you have these lenses that will magnify the dot printed on the backside, a little mistake that you won't see on a normal print will be visible on lenticular. And color registration needs to be very good as well. And yes, it is very precise.
Mm.
Yes. And in
Um,
fact, people creating lenticular, they need to be both artist and also very precise. So it's a mix of art and mathematics.
that sounds like a good mix. Daniel, how long time have you been involved with the lenticular?
Oh, a very long time.
Mm.
I started in 95.
95. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that is some years ago. So
Yes.
you have an anniversary this year.
Yes. Yes. And in fact, what happened in 95, I was interested in photography, commercial photography, advertising photography. And so I met with an American company who was exhibiting in Köln in Photokina and showing three-dimensional pictures. And I found it very interesting to see those 3D pictures, real 3D with no glasses. The, the process was completely different at this time. It was not made with computer. It was just the old the old photographic system, and they were using with a lenticular lens, and on the back side was a photographic emulsion, and so it was just a traditional photography, but it was working. And so later we had the opportunity to come in touch with people producing lenticular sheets, and then it was the beginning of printing lenticular in offset equipment, and uh, and then of course the UV technology brought very good opportunities because I still remember a printer who needed to wait for 2 days after printing that material could dry a little bit, and it was longer if it was too humid. And today, today since a long time already now, the UV technology. allows to print and have it dried immediately, which is something fantastic. The big change today is that the market now allows also to print the large format direct to the lens with UV flatbed printers. And that's very, very important, because in the past, people doing large format, they were printing on rolls, and then they needed to laminate to the lenticular sheet, which brings another issue. If you if you don't laminate perfectly straight, it's lost. You don't have two chances. So it was quite complicated. It's still working. There are still people laminating and doing very well, but printing direct, with the increase of quality that we have in flatbed printing direct allows to do very, very good and very interesting images.
If you look at, let's say, the sheets and let's say the technology behind Lenticular, has it developed into become more detailed or finer since 20 years ago, or since 15 years ago, or how is it the same? I mean, I understand the principles are the same, but what are the biggest developments and changes over the past years?
Well, I think that the evolution of the technology uh, allows to have a better resolution, and some printers now allow to have a smaller dot size or volume, to talk about digital, and so the smaller the dot, the more possibilities you have to add more images, and have a better effect, of course.
Hmm.
And
I mean, Daniel,
that's
you mentioned
totally
yourself
normal.
that Daniel, you mentioned yourself that you have a background as a photographer, so I guess that you also have the opportunity to sometimes see something really cool. Can you mention, let's say, one or two things that you have seen that are the most cool things you have seen?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I'm very interested in looking at those images. Yes, there's people doing very, very good photography, and yes, of course, we see many good things. Yes, that I think to make lenticular and to sell lenticular, you need to have this passion. It needs to be a passion, and you need to be very interested in what you're doing for everything, but particularly for lenticular. Yes,
Mm.
we see
Is
we
it
see a lot of good pictures. Yes.
is it a market that goes a little bit in waves? I was thinking that sometimes it gets very popular and then it's not so popular and then it becomes popular again, or is it a very stable market?
There's variation. Of course, there has been two things after 2020. First of all, the COVID period, and then after the COVID period, the biggest lenticular extruder in the world, in the US, decided to move to other products.
Okay.
And so that has made a big change in the market, because for a certain period the product was not available. And so what has changed since then, since 2020, is that now we have much more product made in Europe.
Yeah, because I noticed that on your website that you have
Yes,
actually on your website it says as extruded in Europe, and I thought that okay, when you write it, it must be because there has been a change, and that is the change you're talking about here. Yeah.
yes. And the large format, the 3D20, the Motion 20 LPI, and the 28 LPI, that is a product that we are the only one to make in the world. These products are made in Spain, and I'm very happy, because we will start a new production next week,
Okay.
next Monday, and we will produce a large quantity of sheets of those three products. So all the week I will be in the factory to work with them. So really look forward to be next week for the new production, and a week later for the UV days. So it's a great period for me.
Yeah, and talking about the UV days, as you have mentioned two things. First of all, was of course that UV in itself was a game changer for Lenticular. The other thing you mentioned is that you have been participating at the IST UV days for 20 years, right? So it's worth celebrating, right?
Yes, yes. but it's always very interesting to be in Nürtingen in for the UV days. The difference is that you have about 1,000 printers coming, but it's you know you know why people are coming for. You know, it's not like a big trade show where you have also a percentage of tourists and it's not the same thing. The people coming to the UV days, they know why they are here, and so that's what I appreciate. And it's always, of course, the organization is always very top. I know Andreas Boss since now many years, and all the people working with him, and it's a very good team, and that's very interesting. Yes, we appreciate that.
So you have good anticipations for the 25 edition as well.
Yeah.
Mm. So when people come to your stand at the IST UV Days, I guess that you show them the Lenticular, right? Both the lenses themselves, but also some samples, right?
Yeah. Yes. We will have some images behind us, and we will have some smaller pictures that we can show and give the people. I don't know if you.
I can see that. Yeah. So you have a very nice. Yeah. Okay. That's great. And that is of course interesting. Last, I have a few questions more because I'm a little bit curious about this. So Daniel, we spoke about the market. A lot of printing companies today are looking in how to make the products more valuable. When we look at Lenticular, that is still not like a commodity product. So would you say that this is an opportunity for more printers to have more exclusive products working with you, for example?
Yeah, the printers today. We were talking earlier about software. I used to say the people don't look at using all the software they use at other application and value added application. So for people who want to go to the next step, it can be an interesting application, of course. And of course, the market has changed, but there's still business to make. I received this morning before we speak. I got two new inquiries from totally different countries, and so it's really a market that continues to fascinate some people, as you said in the beginning, and that's yes, it's interesting, of course, yes, and there's always new things to do.
Mm. And where is the future? Do you think there's like growth, or do you also think there will be like new technology developments that could be of interest in the future, or is it pretty much where we are supposed to be now?
Well, I think that unfortunately we don't have a better environment friendly product today because it's we mainly use PETG and the issue is that it's very complicated to use a recycled resin to extrude lenticular because any little particle of contamination, I would say, can damage a roll, and a roll is very expensive, and so it's for the moment we still use PETG. I believe that it's something that continues to interest some people, and so it will be like this in the future, of course. And we, I don't know if there will be more new products, new lens designs, but we have this 28 LPI that is very important for us because it's really something that was made for 3D photographers, and the 28 is made for a viewing distance of 1.5 meter, which is what you have in a gallery.
Yeah.
So that's why we
So of
created this
course it needs
product.
to have that
So it's
kind of
really a
distance, of
product
course. Yeah.
made
Yeah.
for galleries.
Mm.
And so we are very happy with this product, and very happy because it's a few years that we didn't have any in stock. We needed to re-engrave, and so and now we start a new production. So that's very good time for us.
Fantastic. And it's not bad to be in Spain next week either, right? Good weather, good wine, good food, and nice people, right? So not the worst place to spend your time next week, right?
Yes, and I'm very happy to see that now there is also a company, Swiss Print, who will be there present with a flatbed printer. And that shows the importance in the printing industry. In the past, you had like two different worlds, the
True.
offset printing and digital printing.
Yeah.
Today, it comes together.
And that,
And it's very interesting to see it in the IST UV-DAYS as well. And I can add also that near digital and offset, we also have product for flexo printing, for web printing, but it requires very high resolution, and so that we try to cover all kind of printing.
Daniel, I look very much forward to see you in Nürtingen in just a few
I look
weeks' time,
forward to
right?
meet you in Nürtingen. Yes.
Yeah, it will be. I think it will be fun. I mean, last time I had a really good time there, so now I can add you to the list of people I get to know. As I say to the people that I see English, I'm so fortunate that I get to know so many people and many
Yes.
interesting technologies that I'm just blown ahead in my mind.
That's great. That's great.
Mm. But thank you, Daniel, and also thank you for talking to me. And see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you in Nürtingen. Bye.
Bye.